This game was my introduction to Street Fighter. Players familiar with the genre know fighting games require an ability to adapt to any situation, using the limited tools their character has. Except in my case, I just learned the controls. I tried practicing the Shoryuken before this, but it turns out I paid $40 just to get turned into a cutscene. Luckily for me, this was just a friendly match, and from here on out, I'll have to get through 10 placements to earn a rank. We'll see how that goes, but first we have to select our skill level. Without any experience, I don't know what I can do, but that on its own should tell me all I need to know. And thinking back to that last match, there's a lot I need to learn. So I humbly pick beginner, and the game matches me against a level 5 bot. An interesting way for the matchmaking system to gauge a newcomer's skill level. If I can't get past this, I'm gonna have a rough time. I chose Ryu because he's awesome, but as soon as the match starts, the poster boy tackles me down, but I get up and respond with the unbeatable move known as jabbing. I keep relying on my jab to try to feel him out and figure out what I can do as Ryu, although while I'm trying new moves, I keep whiffing a lot of my attacks. This match was a nice way to warm up and get used to how the game actually plays. The only problem is I still don't know what I'm supposed to do. I keep throwing out these jabs and trying to follow it up with some other move, but they don't seem to land. Then, when Luke starts shooting laser beams out of his fists, I'm knocked back into the wall, trapped in the corner with nothing left but my bread and butter. This time, my jab converts into a full-on combo and I get this power-up. I don't know what I did, but somehow it happened again. And I'm able to get footing on center stage. Too bad after all of that, we still lose the round. Even though I was struggling at the beginning, this gave me confidence that I might be able to pull something off and win the set. The second round, he starts with the exact same thing he used before, except this time I leap over him, taking his side of the screen, but that's when I trip him up and end up jumping back over, defaulting to the jab, crouching low kick combo. It feels really nice when I have the advantage, you know, when my attacks just land, but eventually it has to reset back to neutral no matter how well I'm playing. But then I find a focus punch, stunning him for a second, so I'm able to land another combo on him. It's a really interesting mechanic where even if your opponent hits you, you're able to tank the hit and counterattack. At this point, you can see I've gotten my skills up to at least a level 5 bot. While I did try some of his special moves, I ended up defaulting back to the jab as it seems like the best option for the most cases. Even after getting bitch slapped by a robot, we just turn it back around and keep on jabbing, until we're able to land a heavier combo and end the round. And just like that, we tie it up. 1-1, us versus the bot. Even though we're playing against a computer, this is still ranked, and I could easily mess it up if I'm not paying attention. But with our crutch, we're able to counter the barrage of attacks, allowing us to go back on the offensive and maybe take back this match. And somehow, despite everything, we still managed to. It's cool how the game keeps track of your placements on screen so I don't have to. Instead, I get to focus on the rematch, proving that it wasn't just a fluke. Even though it's not perfect, I'm starting to get an idea of what Ryu wants, and I'm able to replicate the combos I was getting last match. It's kind of working as we're able to get a lot of damage off this time. I start mixing in Hadokens and other moves as well, now that I feel a bit more comfortable with the things that I've already tried. Although the majority of the things I try don't land how I wanted it to, but the idea is if I practice it enough, eventually I'll be able to find the timings to activate it at the right moment. For now, instead of trying to finish him off with a fancy Shoryuken, I'll just focus on winning with the basics that I already know. With one last round, all we have to do is win this and we can play against real players. For this last round, I tried to be more aggressive where I straight up walked into him so he can punch me in the face for being an idiot. But Ryu's jab does wonders and we're able to reset neutral again. Nothing really happens for a while until I throw out a few heavy attacks and finish the combo. Although I wasn't really prepared for it, so I wasn't ready for the follow-up. Then after that, he punched me in the balls several times. He tries to keep us in the corner, but gets a little too close, so I'm able to grab him and get out. But my advantage doesn't last for too long as I accidentally put myself back where I started, defaulting back to our jab low kick combo. We escape again and start throwing out hitboxes just in case, but that doesn't work out quite so well as he's able to hit us back. So I throw out this empowered Hadouken, but it doesn't really set us up how I wanted it to. And it wasn't as pretty as I wanted it to be, but we're able to get the knockout anyways. I figured as long as I'm able to get it done, it's better than anything. I recognize those first wins were a freebie, but we still managed to get past the tutorial. Now it's time for a real challenge. And beat them we will, even if I have to learn a new skill or two to beat this guy. I don't know who he is, but everyone seems to be picking him. Either way, getting back to the match, both of us are new challengers, so it's probably the fairest match you could possibly have. Since I don't know any of the matchups, I figured I could just start off with one of my offensive combos and see where my hits land. Off of that, I'm able to deal a decent bit of damage. The only problem is I'm leaving myself open to his attacks when I'm swinging willy-nilly. I might eventually learn how to block, but for now, I'm focused on my jabs. But it's crazy because just defaulting to my jab saves me in so many situations. The match is actually really close as we trade hits back and forth, just dealing little bits of damage at a time. Until he finds the moment to focus punch my barrage of attacks, and he takes me down into the ground. But that's only the first round, and we can still bring it back. The second round starts off about the same. I see him jump in the air, so I charge my focus fist to try to get the combo started. My whole game plan now is to get a focus punch, jab, or jumping attack to lead into a heavy 3-hit combo. Then I kind of repeat that for neutral. I have this mix up where afterwards I can throw in this Tatsumaki spinning kick to keep him on guard, where they have to be ready to block it, or a Hodoken. I guess in a way, I'm just hoping it builds up over time into something amazing. Like this play could have been something, but it really turned out to be nothing after all, and I get punished for trying something so crazy. Luckily I've got enough HP to survive this, even though I'm in a bad spot. I think my opponent recognized this, now that I'm trapped in the corner, unsure of what to do next. So he rushes forward before I get the chance to learn that an attack will knock him out of it. The next bout, I try to open with a heavier start for the rematch, landing with a kick to try to get as much damage as possible out of this initial burst, but I end up having to lean on my focus again to get things moving in my favor. It might be overpowered, but on reaction I can press one button and win in exchange. When as difficult as it is to approach, a move like this helps a player like me a ton. But as it turns out, every character has this, so it's more of a rock, paper, scissors mind game than anything. A few jabs and low kicks later, I'm able to set up this 3-hit combo and take the first point of the second set. It's not a high-level exchange, but it's obvious both me and my opponent know generally what we're trying to accomplish. Even if occasionally we have to mix it up, exchanging blows back and forth until both of us wind up for a focus attack. This is where I learned that to counter a counter, you need a counter, opening up a whole new option for my gameplay. At this point, I've gotten to his mental, and he gets into a sprinter's position, where I accidentally end up using my Hodoken, blasting him in response. Then for a third and final clash, we jump up and land on our asses. I found this funny enough to break the heated pace of combat and emote before getting back into it. Unfortunately, my mechanics are hot garbage, and I missed this kick only to get my spine broken by vein. Then he uses the same dash as before and slams me again. Except this time, now that I know he's going to rely on his crutch, I'm ready to cancel it with a normal punch into a roundhouse kick combo. Winning the second set, putting us 1-1 for the final rematch. Starting with some lightweight footsies, both of us are trying to find a chance, but we both whiff most of our attacks until I walk directly into his foot. Luckily at this level, both of us are playing off single hit exchanges, so even if I take a hit here or there, he's not going to be able to follow up with anything too threatening. It's the same for me, as I'm not able to get anything until my tried and true jab into low kick combo leads into an uppercut. But an advantage like this doesn't last too long as we reset and I get focus kicked in the face for spamming. At this point, I still have more stamina even if we're both low, so Alex forces us to switch to a more defensive playstyle, so I follow his lead and give up some ground as he goes in for this last stage effort attack that I was able to stop with a fireball. With that move fresh on my mind, I'm obviously looking to keep using it since my focus fists are just getting blocked every time. While the stagger lets me blast him point blank. One more round is all it takes to finish this match and beat my first ranked player. But just like that, before we attack, when at a time like it's a turn-based strategy game, instead of getting through combos, Alex catches me through priority and lands his 2-cost special attack, taking me down to half health. Panicking as my jabs don't land, I take even more damage until eventually, he earns the second point. Last round of the last match, I take the aggressive lead and get some decent damage off until he focuses through my blows, and I get suplexed again. I lost the lead I got at the beginning and found myself closer and closer to death's door with everything I tried. My opponent gets up and focuses through my jabs, trying to finish the round, but somehow I have enough time to counter with the exact same move, stunning him in return so I can try and combo with my final ultimate attack. But I mess it up and get no damage, and the only reason I was able to win this match is because I caught him with an anti-aerial. Now that I'm pushing him back, I keep laying on the pressure until it's a knockout.
Ryu wins!
My placements have been harder than it looks, but so far it's doable. And we keep going only to find ourselves in a mirror match. Ryu versus Ryu. I'm on the left side with a red sash and clean white pants. We both hop around and toss out projectiles at the beginning. I power through his attack and knock him down, but can't get the follow-up. He responds with the same move as if to say I can do that too, only to give me a bit more damage afterwards. With him trapped in the corner, I focus punch again, slamming his back against the wall. On his get up, he tries to fireball, but a fourth focus punch lets me eat it for free and keep him down. But I don't want to stay right next to him just in case he tries something, and it kinda pays off as he's not able to get out unless he wins the neutral again. Unfortunately he does, and gets back to center, dealing a bunch of damage, but with the lead as large as I had, a few trades are fine. As he keeps jumping directly on me, we take the first point. The next round goes about the same way, with both of us trying to land focus punches. Damage goes out to both sides, but he gets a longer combo dealing more damage, and we find ourselves in a spot where neither of us really know how to close the distance. And all he needed to do was raw dog a Shoryuken. To take the first set, I need to win this next one, but he introduces me to the shield button, and from both sides, no attack really lands. So I go back to my crutch and throw out a focus punch several times, making me realize how little I actually know my options. As I get schooled for my own spam. And have a new hole surgically added to my stomach.
Ryu wins!
For the rematch, I lay out an onslaught of attacks using my crutch to keep the offense going. But in a near instant, he was able to turn the fight around and take me down with quick and precise movements that catch me off guard. At this point, I get my face punched right away to try to make up for the lost ground, and this empowered Hadouken puts me even further behind since I still don't defend myself, fully planning on just punching until someone goes down, either me or him, and it doesn't go well. For him, as I'm able to keep it moving and eventually land a focus punch through his, and I'm able to even the health out. He keeps using his special attacks, whereas mine never seem to work. But I don't need it, and a few more exchanges lower our HP until he gets his focus ruined and ends up stunned for the rest of the round. This last round on the second set starts ballsy, as I tank his Hadouken on reaction and throw him into the air. He gets up and blocks my combo, turning it on me. He starts to hop around to throw me off before grappling me to the ground. Another button I hadn't learned. Now all he wants to do is empty hop and grab, but his complacency ends up costing him the entire set, moving us to the third and final match. This time it's back to standard stuff as I'm trying to start something new to hopefully prove that I'm the best Ryu here. I poise through his flying kick and start a combo of my own. Once he's out, I send a fireball to keep my distance, and use the blue block that he used before to defend his return projectiles. One lands, but after that I jump the third, landing with a clean 4-hit combo. Now I just have to finish it without letting him turn it around, and somehow I end up getting the better end of this trade, even if he can use his meter. As it goes on, I don't even feel that nervous, I'm just paying attention to what he does so I can find an opening to crutch the round. The opening doesn't go well, but the same move that won me the last point puts this one in my favor for a moment. Except he reverses it and uses this damn thing again. So I'll use mine, by accident, and get nothing for it as I still lose the round since he manages to lose some interesting moves. Not even this could win me the round, so I don't even know how to use it properly. Jumping over him leaves myself open to a wake-up spinning uppercut. Somehow I keep getting myself into these final rounds of the final set, over and over again. Probably because I just keep coin flipping the game, vicariously attacking, spamming these powerful moves, not helping. You can probably tell, but it keeps getting me hit by Shoryukens and losing me the rounds that I otherwise would have a chance to win. That being said, it's not like these players I first are that good, but even still, the games are close. If only I could pick up a few new tricks from this guy. But obviously, just using Hadokens aren't going to cut it. So I go back to my focus punch spamming, until I get him in the corner, but he jumps out and my back's to him. He tries one of his own, and I dodge, and land with a 3-hit combo that he entirely blocks, stunning me 1 hit from the knockout. But he accidentally trips me, and when he jumps over, 1 more focus punch is all it takes to turn it back around in my favor. It's such a good move, I don't know what I'd do without it. I certainly wouldn't have won this match.
Here comes a new challenger.
For our final challenger, I'm put against this freak named Aki, who has poison type attacks. My best move doesn't land, so I swap to jabs, and once she's close, I grab her. but I don't get anything out of it, and it puts me in a spot where she's able to space me with these bubbles. My own projectile is landing, but it's not enough as I work through how to handle it. My crutch works in a way, but I'm still having trouble closing the distance. And she blocks my aerial and turns the fight back in her favor. Once I get up, I try again, but she's ready for the same trick and knocks me out of the sky. Now I'm stuck in this weird middle ground where I can't approach or fight back, but it's not like I can just wait here since this is exactly what my opponent wants. So I keep trying, only to get pushed back again. This is the first time I've seen someone able to hold their ground like this. Even if this character doesn't do damage, their ability to land several smaller blows wins this one for her as she lays down on top of me in an act of dominance. She lets me know she caught on to my jumping attacks and somehow has an answer for everything I try. The fight drags on for a bit, both of us trying to tag the other lightly without anything really interesting happening. Even though we slowly lose HP on both sides as the exchanges go on, now that I'm playing against someone better, spamming my focus punch just gets me punished. With her own leading into a massive chain of attacks. Unsure what to do, I wait a second and try something I picked up from my fight against Ryu, the tomahawk grab. By jumping and landing without attacking, I can fake out a grab and maybe get something out of it, and I do, which puts her in a spot where she has to either escape or fight back depending on what I do. And even after she leaves the corner, I'm able to destroy her defenses, making her panic and retreat, but I still have to get close to finish this fight, so I jump in and get kicked before trying this again. But she blocks it, and a few more attempts later, to close the distance, we get punished. But I think spamming Hadouken here made her want to use a projectile of her own, which let me focus punch through the hit and win the match, teabagging her back as revenge for last time. This final round is kind of embarrassing as I just can't seem to get it right. She plays me like a fiddle, giving her the opportunity to go in and land a sick-ass 15 hitter. I try to get close to turn these around, but even my best combo isn't enough to take it home when she's just this clean with it. One last attempt before we get our rank. Let's see how it goes. Another aggressive start from me as I try to land one of two combos that I know. These fights are never free, even if it starts off one-sided. In an instant, a good player can turn it around and win the entire thing, which Aki was able to do by playing patiently and responding to my options with her own. It's a back and forth battle, and I'm able to push her back, getting to a good spot until I block nothing and she takes it back. Now I'm 1 or 2 hits from death, so obviously I'm going back to the best move, and I'm able to start dealing enough damage to almost win. I just need one more good hit. As it gets to the end, I try something I'll end up regretting. Trying to use my empowered Hadouken to finish the match only left me open to her counter. This time she goes on the aggressive and locks me down with a bubble after the combo, but doesn't have anything left to keep me locked down after that. I'm able to turn it around by blocking an attack before retaliating with my own. I'm able to turn it around, blocking an attack before retaliating with my own, which she reacts with focus, but I've got just enough time to respond, giving me the room needed to make a play. Getting damage out, and even after whiffing this, by using the good old jab to keep her where I want, I'm able to get the special attack to finally land. But it's not enough even after catching her out of a jump. Her HP lead was too much to get us anything meaningful. I lay on more attacks, trying not to give her a chance to get back on her feet, but after repeating this corner game, I end up giving a little too much space, and she's able to take it back for a moment. my special just barely keeping her at bay before I flail wildly trying to figure out anything that'll work. This only leaves me in a worse spot now that she's free to kite me or do whatever she wants. I try to take back what I had, but repeatedly telegraphing the most punishable move ever loses me the set and lets Akio lobotomize me for the grand finale. With a 60% win rate. For all of my hard work, I was placed in Iron 1400 PP, or who knows what it's called in this game.